Hello, Adrian here. Let's make ourselves some beautiful nav meshes so we can walk around our model and not bump into things we're not meant to and not stick our heads where it's not meant to go. So, to get started, we need to get ourselves a nav mesh object. And so, if you remember a while ago, we had the modes area where we could get some blocks and some lights, but we can get other things from in there too. So, and one of the things we want is a type of volume. And the type of volume that you want is a nav bounds volume. We can also just search for that by typing in nav, and we'll get a few things that say nav, but we want the bounds volume. And if we just drag that into space, we'll get, well, you might have to press P to toggle this, but you should be able to see a little green thing. And that little green thing represents where you're able to walk. And what we can do is we can just grab the little scale, like angle bit to scale it in X and Y at the same time, and we should be able to make it huge. So we want to scale it way up, and we now can see, and you'll see in the bottom, it will start generating the path, and we can see why our blocks fell into the void before as well, because you can now see that the nav mesh dictates where you can walk based on collision. And so we can see that we'll be able to walk across this lawn and in the driveway and on the side of the road, which is probably not as advisable. Actually, no, it works out quite well. You can walk only on the sidewalk and not get hit by cars, which is generally advisable. So, now that we've done that, that's basically it. You now have a nav mesh. And so when you start using your correct starting VR locomotion-y guy, you should be able to walk across this. Probably the only other thing that you want to pay attention to is see how there's these little holes where these blocks are. You might want to turn that off so then you can still walk there once the block's gone. So what you want to do is you want to go into the block, go down a bit until you get to navigation, open that up, and if you expand that a bit so you can actually see what it's doing, you can turn, okay, that's not the right thing. Just search navigation. And okay, there we go. Collision can affect navigation. And also note that it's an A, so it's using the correct one. Can ever affect navigation, and turn that off. And you can see now that there's no hole there. And so for anything that you are able to move, or just things that you would be able to walk through, so let's say that there's like some grass or something that you've put into the map, and you want to be able to walk through that grass, you can turn that off. And so now you're able to walk around these blocks. And even though this is just a demonstration, it's not going to work. Oh, and I don't have a VR headset plugged in. If I was able to pew around, you'd be able to still walk where those were. But in the next video, we'll show you how to start off with the Vive and also start off with the newer, better computers, so the model's going to look a bit different, but we'll be able to actually plug into a Vive and not have the whole thing crash. So see you in the next video.
This project was supported by a UTS Widening Participation Strategy, First Year Experience Grant, funded through the Australian Government Higher Education Participation and Partnership Program. The videos were produced by Matthew Austin and Adrian Taylor.